I am Barbara Kahn. I'm with Journeys by the Book, a pro travel affiliate, and I'm joined today by Kari Roach, Director of Sales for Oceania Cruise, and we are here to talk about the Mediterranean itinerary on the Riviera, and that will be with the Forum Travel Group, August 3rd to 13 of 2024. So welcome to everybody who has already booked, and we look forward to getting some more interest after seeing this video and highlighting all the wonderful ports of call that you'll be visiting in the Mediterranean.
I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you so much for having me and asking me to participate. This sailing from Barcelona to Rome on board our beautiful Riviera is really going to be a showstopper. I'll tell you that we have stayed true to the way that we want you to look at the world, and or how we want to help you look at the world. And that is with our three pillars of distinction: small ship luxury, our exquisitely crafted cuisine, and our curated travel experiences. And we are going to explore each of these areas just a bit further. So first, I want to start off with our curated travel experiences, because I'll tell you, you know, from being just a travel planner, Barbara, that there's so much thought, there's so much planning that goes into every single trip. And that's no different than how we curate our itineraries so that we can give guests this amazing experience, not only on board, but ashore as well. So we sail to over 450 ports around the globe. Ultimately, we want to be destination specialists. Because our ships are smaller, we are able to not only take these guests to the more iconic and marquee ports of call, but also these little tiny nuggets, these boutique seaside village ports that the large ships that carry 3,500 passengers can't possibly get into. And this is really what sets Oceania Cruises apart, by cruising on these small ships, right? A lot of times we hear that when we sail, when we travel, we really want to be at a home away from home. And that's exactly what Oceania Cruises wants to do. We do offer all of these restaurants, all of these amenities. We offer entertainment options, but it's really about the atmosphere. It's relaxed. We never have the crowds. We are country club casual 24/7. There's no need to pack a ball gown or a tux unless, gentlemen, you lost a bet. Other than
Absolutely.
that, country club casual. We want you to be comfortable. And I'll tell you, the Oceania class is really known for the onboard experience. It really has the warmth of our R-class ships, our regatta class ships, but it also has several more of the specialty restaurants. There's, as I mentioned before, the cooking school at sea. There's so much to do. The artist loft, where you can participate in a variety of art mediums. There's just so much to do on board Oceania Cruises. So just to give you a little taste of the cabins and the staterooms that we have, and as far as the suites, you know, our owner suites, our penthouse suite is extremely popular, but also our concierge level veranda. Our verandas are very, very popular, floor to ceiling windows. Several already, I believe, have booked the concierge level verandas within this group. Is that correct?
They have, absolutely, and even a penthouse as well. So there are some people that know exactly what they want when they cruise, and they've definitely made their choices.
I'll tell you, the one thing that everyone talks about when it comes to Oceania Cruises is our cuisine. It's really the hallmark of our brand since inception. And it all starts with executive chef and culinary director Jacques Pepin, as well as our team that spans over 40 countries. And I'll tell you, we hire the best of the best when it comes to um, our chefs and our servers and our crew and our staff. And there's just no great meal unless it is shared with family or friends, right? There
Right.
just isn't. There just isn't.
Yeah, I get so much great feedback from clients on Oceania. The reason why many of them go back again and again is because of the food. They love the food and they love the laid back, casual style. They feel comfortable and they can enjoy, nice meals and great ports of call. So it really is, those are the things that bring people back again and again.
Yes, that country club casual ambiance that really ties in to that culinary advantage because you can go to the Terrace Cafe and early in the morning and have breakfast as you pull into port, right? That perfect cup of coffee. But whether it be from the Terrace Cafe and you want to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, this is going to be country club casual, right? This is more of a casual ambiance here. And if you want steak and lobster at this at Terrace Cafe, it's set up more like a buffet, but we actually serve you instead of you reaching in, and we actually serve you, which is very important, but it's also just that extra layer of luxury, I would say, from the grand dining room. You talk about luxury. Here you don't have to have reservations for the Terrace Cafe or the grand dining room. The menu changes every single night. And we have entrees from all of our specialty restaurants. We have 7 specialty restaurants on board the Riviera. So Jacques is actually the only restaurant that Jacques Pepin has, and it's on board Oceania Cruises. The French dining, the French influence, it's eclectic, it's pure, it's wonderful. The aromas, absolutely amazing. And in true French fashion, there's a cheese cart that comes around. When it comes to we want you to have the most, I believe that that also comes into value. There's so much value with Oceania Cruises. I'll tell you, the first time people sail with us, it's because of our itineraries. But the reason that they return is because of our service. It's because of the value that they received at that initial booking, right? And they thought, man, there is so much more to Oceania Cruises. There's
Yeah,
just so much more.
so many inclusive options, so many inclusive, which you're in other cruise lines, you're paying extra for all of these things, and it's already included for you here.
Exactly. All of your Cokes or your soft drinks, all of your bottled water, your sparkling, your still water, all of that's included. All of your specialty coffees.
Yeah, so I was going to
All
say
of it.
coffees are really big, and I know a lot of people love to have their coffee morning and evening, or in the middle of the day. They come back from their shore excursion and they want to just rest up. Yeah, having that available and not have to worry about, think about what people spend to go to Starbucks while they're home.
Here's what else you're getting with Oceania Cruises. With the Simply More offer that's included in this group program, you receive a shore excursion credit. You can apply that shore excursion credit to whatever shore excursion, no matter the price. If you want to have a private car and driver, you can apply it there as well. Your champagne, your wine, your beer, all of that's included. We don't include hard liquor. If you want liquor or spirits, then you would need to purchase or upgrade to a different beverage package. But again, all of our specialty dining, all included. And your Wi-Fi is going to be included as well. Their gratuities are included. This is 18 to $25 per person per day.
Yeah, that's huge. That is just amazing. It's absolutely
Yes.
huge.
And you've set up an exclusive cocktail party just for this group where they can go, and it'll be in the Horizons Lounge. They get to mingle with everyone else who's booked within this group. as well as the captain of the ship, our general manager, the concierge department. There's so many key players that are going to be there that are so eager to meet and greet and just spend time with your guests. I know this is what we came for. It's the itinerary. It's on board Riviera, August 3rd, 2024. This is 10 days. There are no days at sea, which I actually love that.
I do too. I love a busy itinerary. I love to know that every day, and and when you were mentioning sitting out in the morning at the terrace cafe and having your coffee, that to me is one of the best things about cruising is arriving into the port, getting up early, sitting outside and watching as you come into the port. I don't know, it just gets me very excited. I've been, like I said, sailing for 30 years. It just never gets old. Never gets old.
Yes, and not only that, but with this itinerary, you can see that everything is a late departure. I think the only one that's not is Palma de Mallorca,
Yeah,
in Spain. But everything, and there's really something to be said for when you are in a city in the morning, and then when you are in a city in the evening. It's a
yeah,
completely different vibe. And to me, that's the beauty of travel. You can be somewhere 2 and 3 times. And if you were there at different times, every single time is going to be completely different. And this also works because you have some people that are night owls. You have some people that like to get up and get off the ship and explore. They are waiting in line 8 a.m., 7 a.m., right when they pull up to port. And then you have some that go, I'm on vacation. I want to sleep in. But I also think that since I'm here, I'm going to be in Ibiza until 11 p.m. I want to have dinner with the locals. I want
right.
to find this local dive, and that's where I want to have dinner, right? I'll tell you insider secret. To figure out the best places to eat, ask our onboard staff.
Right.
They have been to these places several times and they will tell you so many different pieces of information, where to go, where not to go. They are really great at offering suggestions. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, so we start in Barcelona, we go to Valencia. Now, Valencia, I believe that you can bike or use a tuk-tuk, which is a sort of an oversized golf cart.
Mhm.
Now, Valencia is actually known for their tapas. There's also the flamenco shows, the dancing shows, right? But also, we can't say Spain without thinking of paella. And that actually originated from Valencia. And did you know that there's different versions all throughout Spain, but paella is actually the name of the pan that is used, not the dish. Now, we have several shore excursions that showcase paella, as well as tapas. And well, there is a shore excursion. It's a excursion called the Tapas and Flamenco Show. And then we get into Ibiza, or Ibiza, as it's known locally, where you can explore the old town, South Shore. They have the sweet boutiques and art galleries, and the marinas, and then Saint Tropez as well. Saint Tropez reminds me of sort of being transported back to Venice with all the canals and the arched bridges, the stone-built homes, and the hilltop villages, don't you think?
Right, absolutely. And they have some really great beaches too. Don't forget, I'll probably be aging myself, but if you remember the commercial from the 1970s, the Bain de Soleil well, it wasn't sunscreen, it was suntan lotion, was, basically Bain de Soleil for the San Tropez tan. So that's what they're definitely known for, beaches, and it is a beautiful, beautiful area.
When I sailed this summer with my husband, I actually had to work when we were in Monte Carlo. But my husband was able to go with the amazing spouses, and they all went and explored Monte Carlo. And he said, it was so interesting because we got off the ship, and there was marinas and there was yachts and it's absolutely gorgeous. One thing that they did is they walked, by the Formula One racetrack. Everything that Monte Carlo had to offer. Of course, they went to the casino, right? The famous casino. There's a lot to do, but
Yeah.
one thing you have to see the casino, right? And
Oh,
then
absolutely.
I'll tell you, did you know it's the second smallest country in the world behind Vatican City?
Wow. But
Yeah.
it's amazing. It is so accessible. Like you said, it is very easy to explore on your own. I've been to Monte Carlo a couple of times. I definitely recommend if somebody wants to go and see the changing of the guard at the palace. That is an amazing thing to do. It's just, walking distance from the port. I have one of the best and most unique experiences. I was literally actually sitting on my veranda on my cabin, and I was looking out, and I was basically right there in the port, and I saw this little line of um sailboats, like small sailboats, that were basically all tied together. And I walked off the ship later on in the day, and I went past this area right near the port, and there was a preschool right on the port. And what I saw was the kids from the preschool, that was their like excursion for the day. They were learning how to sail, and it was so cute. I have a picture of it, of these sailboats just all strung together, and at the very beginning was their instructor. And I thought, where else would you see that except someplace like the Mediterranean? And Monte Carlo is just, it is more than the glamour. It is so beautiful to walk around and just explore, and make sure and I say this because I made a mistake the first time I went to the casino like 30 years ago. We were not dressed appropriately. We were dressed like tourists with shorts. And no, you've got to think ahead. If you want to go inside the casino, definitely look like you belong there. And it's different. It's not a casino like what we think of as casinos in Vegas. It was quiet. It was so interesting. So just remember to dress appropriately if you want to go into the casino in Monte Carlo.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's a
fun.
great tip. Yes, that's a great tip. Then we're going to head to Portofino, Italy, and I'll tell you one of the highlights here um, is fishing with the natives. Portofino is really, really that they take this seriously, and there's a lot of local fishermen, and um, they want to keep this tradition going and keep it alive. And so they really enjoy doing excursions where they can show you and show off everything that's been passed down from generation to generation. Now, you just recently went to Portofino, right?
I actually was in Provence. I was in
Okay.
Provence, but we actually did a shore excursion from there, which would probably be similar to one of these types of shore excursions. They took us out on a fishing boat, and we were able to see how they again, the same thing, they how they basically have been doing fishing in the Mediterranean region for, generations. So it is definitely kind of a experience that you won't find, everywhere. And it's definitely one for people who, and it's the one thing about Portofino in this area, I feel like you really have to get out on the water in order to appreciate the area, because these pastel buildings and the setting, it really looks so different when you're out on a boat and you're, sailing past and looking at the shore versus like walking around in the, it's a charming city, but I always say to people, make sure that you get out onto the water to enjoy it also, because it's just, that's what the area is all about. So definitely highly recommend that.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And I'll tell you, so when we were in Livorno, which we did, the Florence, Pisa, Tuscany type, a couple things that I thought were very interesting. One, we had to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right? Something else that was really, and so we did a tour that was a kind of pizza on your own. We had a guide that was great. We took the Oceania excursion. It was very seamless. It was very well put together, and we kind of had our own time to spend at each place. And that's how I like to travel. I like to do a combination of organized tours where things are heavily guided, and then where I can just learn on my own with a little bit of guidance, from the tour guide, perhaps on the transportation on the way over there, things like that. And one of the things that I thought was extremely interesting was, if you get up close and take pictures, there are all these inscriptions. And I have decided, I don't even know how many pictures of them, but the one that's in the center on the bottom, highlighted in this picture, and that is one of the little inscriptions when this was built.
Yeah.
And I have
Amazing. This is the
vowed,
amazing stuff.
exactly, I have vowed to go back and research every single one of them. I want to know, was this someone's name? Was this a timeline? Was this a dedication? What is all of this? And it's extremely interesting.
Yeah, the keys that you saw in Pisa, they're also in Siena. And in Siena, when you look at the little shape of the keys, a lot of them they have meaning behind them, because in Siena they had each of the families had their like symbol. So they would basically make their key with the symbol, and a lot of them are animals. So you would see, like just different types of like fox and various kinds of animals. And so people could look at that key and identify that family based on what the symbol of that creature was. So that I found to be very interesting. And I know that there's some shore excursions that take in Siena and San Gimignano. I highly recommend people going to those hill towns. I went several times. I love those areas. Such beauty out, you can go and see. They're all hill towns, so you're up high and you see so many of the iconic Tuscan landscapes. So definitely another place to consider for shore excursions. And of course, we can't forget Florence, which is and again, it's just so much to see there, but it's a small and compact city, so you can again do it on your own if you want. And I know there's a couple of shore excursions that will take you to Florence. You can wander around. For sure, you want to go see the Ponte Vecchio, that which goes over the Arno, very interesting area. The if anybody's interested in art history, two big museums. Of course, you've got the Statue of David. There's just so much history and so much art that nobody will be bored for sure.
Yes, that's right. And if we continue through, so we actually have one of my favorites, which is a Go Local tour. It's a Black Truffle Discovery Tour, and this is in Marseille. And this is where so our Go Local tours allow the guests to have this memorable experience with the locals. And again, it's passing down those generations of traditions. And these are small groups, so no more than 12 people
Right.
in these Go Local tours. It's great for curious travelers. But here, you get to spend a day truffle hunting in the woods, on the Provence countryside, just absolutely amazing. And then you get to go back and cook a dish with your findings and just experience the flavor that you just don't get when it's bottled and on a shelf. So
Absolutely.
very excited about that. But then we get into Rome. And I know you've been to Rome. I've been to Rome. I've got some interesting things I wanted to point out, but I'm telling you what we did in Rome. When we got off the ship, we decided that we only had a certain amount of time. If I would do it all over again, I would have stayed for probably 2 days after we disembarked the ship. I would have stayed for 2 days. But what
Yeah.
we did to make the best of our time, Barbara, is We had a private tour with a private guide, and just, it was only 4 people. We visited all of the highlights. And I mean, it was, Vatican City, it was the Colosseum, we visited Trevi Fountain, everything, gosh, well, everything within the Vatican City, the Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Basilica, all of those things. I'll tell you, the amount of time that we put into 5.5 hours, people were still in line
Yeah,
at Vatican
absolutely.
City trying to get tickets, trying to get in line.
Right.
And here we bypassed everything. Our driver took us right up to the front and we had the tickets, our guides. Well, I learned so much from our guide. Ironically, her name was Barbara as well. Um, she was just so, so knowledgeable. And the entire city has been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The,
Which is as it should be, because there is history everywhere, literally everywhere. People walk past things and they really don't even know. There are plaques on the wall. Sometimes I miss sometimes when I've been there many times, and every time I go back, I see some other plaque which will highlight something else, some time in history that occurred, and it's just amazing.
yes,
I was going to say, I highlighted one thing that I was thinking about, and a lot of people don't even know about this, because Rome itself is so big. But if anybody spends enough time there and they have a little extra time, I often recommend people go and see Appian Way, which is just outside of like the walls, or like outside of the old walls of the city. And it is where the Roman military used to basically use that. That was like their highway in and out of Rome, when of course there were, wars going on and they were conquering all those places. They had to make this sort of like road to get in and out with all of their, military equipment. And that is really interesting. You can do a biking tour there, which would be absolutely amazing, because you're like in Rome, but just outside. So it's kind of like being a little bit out in the countryside. And like you said, to do a skip the line tour for the Vatican, 100% recommend that. If you're there and you're spending a couple of extra nights, I always tell my clients to go to the early morning Vatican tour. It's early, it's like 7:30, 7:15, but you are basically inside before the rest of the public. And you are a small group and you get to see everything without the crowds. And every single person that I've ever had book on those type of tours basically comes out and they said they feel like a rock star, because they basically exit from this sort of like secret door, and they open the door and you go out into the lobby, and then that's where all of the rest of humankind is waiting to get in, and you feel like, wow, I have just done something that that was so special. And so definitely Rome warrants at least one extra day, if not two, if you can manage it.
so with that, I'd like to bring our training to a close. We have gone over the entire itinerary for your guests. We've gone over the benefits. We've gone over so much. And with that, I say thank you. So, on behalf of myself and Barbara, I want to say thank you for listening today. Thank you for being a part of our presentation. And if there's anything else that we can do for you, please let us know. You're going to be working through Barbara Kahn with Pro Travel. And we are so excited to have you with us today. So, to all of you, thank you and have a wonderful day.